Vincent Holiday!
All right, Dayton, it's good to be back here. And I know how microphone cords work. Awesome. Like all the comics that you're probably going to see tonight, I also had a really bad childhood. And I come from a series of broken homes. The first one was made of straw. The second one's made of twigs. And like my childhood wasn't hard because my dad wasn't there. It's hard because my dad isn't all there. Yeah, my dad has a high-functioning form of autism called Asperger's, which sounds like what you would get from a gay McDonald's. Like 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, eggs. Oh, did we miss Craig Louganis? So if you hang out with my dad, you have to learn what all of his tics are. You know, he walks on his toes a lot. I knock over a box of toothpicks and he'll be like, 97! But he can never tell me that he loves me. That's why I do comedy, guys. Just getting on stage, working out my daddy issues. It was either this or become the saddest stripper in history. So, you guys really want to see me dancing in a cage to Sarah McLachlan? In the arms I would be like the worst stripper ever. Like my tramp stamp would be a hand turkey. Where I have to dance the chorus and Splenda on me. I clearly don't need a sugar. But comedy's like really hard though if you don't have like a funny name or a guitar. And it's like really hard for me. It's really hard for me because I'm supposed to talk to you folks about things you can relate to, like how men and women are different. And that's going to be really hard for me because I'm gay and I don't know anything about women. Right, like, do they get pregnant when you push them up the stairs? Is that? I understand the reciprocal. And some of you don't understand reciprocal. All right, well, strap in. This is how this is going. Like, ladies, seriously, like, if you shave your pubes into a Hitler sash, do you call it Mein Kampf? Is it a Hitler? I don't know. I don't read Cosmo. I don't know how that works. So last year, I get booked to do a show in downtown Indianapolis. Right, yeah, I didn't know either. So as I'm driving in Indianapolis, the first billboard that I see on the border is Indianapolis, the crossroads of America. And as I keep driving, it's just giant crosses on the side of the road of America. They really hate abortion out there. My favorite billboard I saw, just said, "Who is Jesus? Who is Jesus?" And I said, "That's correct, you have control of the board." Yeah, because Jesus is the answer, and every answer must be in the form of a question. So. Pick a category, Indiana. So I get there, I'm at the club, I'm doing my jokes and everything. It's not going too well. People are like actively taking phone calls in the middle of the showroom. A guy yells out, "I didn't pay to hear all this gay shit." I'm like, well, I don't have any jokes about being married or having kids, and that's kind of on you, the voters, so... So I finished my set to the same amount of awkward silence as I had when I came out to my parents. And I go to the restroom, and I'm standing at the urinal, and I like to use the small urinals because it makes my dick look bigger. When all of a sudden the door flies open, and I hear a guy yell, "Oh shit, he's gonna rape me!" And now I get scared because I have to stop a rape with my dick out. And at some point, I'm going to get a fear boner. And that's when I go from being the hero to being the monster. So I look around to see who this assailant is. No one else in the restroom, is just me. Like, he just sees me and assumes that it's not... I don't know why. Like, I wasn't wearing a Steelers jersey or a Cosby sweater. I don't know. giving off. This guy just sees me, which isn't fair, you know, like, because I like some guys, but I don't like every guy forcibly. Like, I have a lot of friends that will hang out, we'll play video games, and then about the third glass of wine, I'll look over and be like, hey, you want to get Roadhead playing Mario Kart? And he's like, actually, it's called Toadhead. And no thanks. And then we just go back to being dudes, right? It's not a big deal. But if you're one of those guys that gets weirded out when another guy hits on you, now you know how every woman you've ever talked to feels like. So shut up and drink that beer, I got you. So I finished up. It's the end of the night. The manager pulls me in the back and he was like, hey, we're going to have to let you go for the weekend. You're done here. And I'm like, well, can I get some feedback as to why? And here's the thing. We've all done stuff in our careers that we're not proud of. You know, like if anyone's had to sing the birthday song when you're waiting tables, it's not a fun thing, right? So my set wasn't going over very well. I used the R word because I thought they could relate to it, being intolerant bigots and whatever. Didn't go over well. So he looks at me and he says, no, retarded's never an acceptable word to say on stage. And I said, you know what? You're right. I'll accept that. And then he said, then you were making fun of Sarah Palin. And people that like Sarah Palin don't like to be called stupid. And I said, well, I can't say retarded, so what am I left with? So he lets me go. And then a few months later, Indiana passes some religious freedom bullshit law, whatever. Anyways, so that gives me a great idea. I'm going to go back to that club on their open mic night, get 5 of my friends. We're going to get on stage, right? And I'll tell a few jokes. I'll start with like, man, I stepped on my cat this morning. It's not to brag, but I am crushing pussy real hard right now. And then I'd stop and I'd be like, wait, is anyone here in support of that Religious Freedom Act? Because you're offending my beliefs, I'm going to need you to leave. And like, cops will get called, someone's getting arrested and whatever. And I figure, as Rachel Maddow and Huffington Post are interviewing me, they'll want to know what I said that would be so horrible. And I'd be like, well, you can hear all of it on my debut album, Too Soon, available on iTunes and Amazon. Yeah, I'm a cheap whore for publicity. So I gather my friends up, I get a stage name picked out, I walk up to the front door, and I just can't do it. They were closed. Turns out for 10 months they couldn't pay the rent, so they got evicted. Yeah. And I know when that guy fired me, I know he prayed that he'd never have to see me again, and he prayed that he wouldn't have to hear that gay show on his stage anymore. And you know what, guys? God listened. Yeah, he didn't take away the gays, he took away the stage. Because that's what happens when you pray with hate in your hearts. And now I've started believing in God because I lost my faith in people. That's going to be it for me, everyone. Vincent Holiday.